have. Hey guys, I'm Wolfie, and today we are going to talk about Deebo Samuel and that crazy thing he decided to tweet, especially after a victory trying to fight for a playoff spot. I digress. And we're going to talk about Hargrave's restructure. I have not seen it. I do not know the details, so it's going to be fresh to me exactly what's going to happen. We'll take a look at the article, and then a couple other things that people are talking about throughout the league. One was like, why isn't Pearsall getting reps, etc. I heard that, and I was like, it seems pretty obvious to me why things aren't exactly working out for him. But to some people, it's a question. Also, one little other tidbit that we'll talk. It's like a 5-minute subject; it won't be very long. But I thought it's very interesting that people are saying this. And it's like, well, that's kind of the point. It's kind of what you want to do with a player. But I'll get to that later. And then that's everything. So then, of course, we are sponsored by water. It's good for you. It's good for your skin, right? And it's good for your kidneys. It's good for your whole body. It's just drink water like a cup a day. It's good for you. Water, Earth's greatest purifier. Papa J in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Val B in the house. Good to see you. Go 49ers. I like this live. Hey. Awesome. Be sure to like the live. It helps me out a lot. Supports this channel. Helps us grow together because this channel, and that's right, I did say us because this channel is nothing without you guys. So thank you guys so much for supporting this channel, liking this channel, subbing, and all that. I appreciate you guys. And I forgot my fan. Oh, no. I'm going to sweat my ass off while I'm here, guys. It's going to be a brutal. Usually my fan, helps me not sweat so much. But we'll try to pull through it and try to push through it and just have a great conversation here. Okay. So first of all, let's get to the big one, the biggest thing that honestly I did not expect to talk about here, which is Deebo Samuel. We were going to talk about the Bears, but we'll just talk about Deebo Samuel quick. I don't understand. I do not get it whatsoever. You just won a game, right? If you were losing and stuff like that and you're getting heated, like, oh, I want to help, blah, 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 blah. I kind of understand that because wide receivers tend to be divas, but you kind of picked a really bad time to decide to be this guy right now. And then not to mention, the biggest question mark that I have with this is, what do you expect Twitter to do? What do you expect to happen if you go to Twitter and complain and be like, yo, this is happening, blah, 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 blah. You think Kyle Shanahan's just going to magically give you more touches? Like he already has been giving you touches, but like you think that's just like we're going to fight for you and be like, yeah, man, give Deebo touches, blah, 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 blah. No, you've been sucking all year, dude. You've had plenty of touches to show us what you can do. It's not like you're averaging 1 target a game. It makes no sense to me. What? And you are a captain. You're out here choking your teammates out. You're out here bitching on fucking Twitter. Are you kidding me right now? Take that C off that dude's chest. That is crazy to me, dude. That is wild. Especially since we're trying to fight for a playoff spot and you want to cause problems like that, you're going to get less touches this way, bro. No one's going to want to support you when you're going out of your way to essentially talk shit about. You wanted to say, oh, I wasn't talking shit about teammates. Then who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? If you weren't talking shit about nobody, or you weren't trying to hold someone accountable for your lack of touches, what was the point of going on Twitter then? What was the point? Why do you need to convince us that, oh, I'm actually not struggling, I'm just not getting the ball? What do you expect us to do about it? It's wild. There's nothing that good comes out of that. And for you to say that and be like, oh, I wasn't talking shit about my teammates, you're clearly saying there's a reason I'm not getting the ball, though. Oh, I'm just not getting the ball enough. That means either Brock Purdy or Kyle Shanahan isn't drawing the ball up for you. You're saying something whether you like it or not. That's what you're doing. If someone wants to bitch at you and tell you, hey, guess what? You're not playing very good, man. Whatever. You're just not playing very good. And you had like a private conversation with someone, that's fine. You keep it to yourself. He's like, hey, man, I'm just not getting the ball. It's whatever, I'm just not getting the ball, blah, 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 blah. But when you go on Twitter, you're telling the world that there's a problem. And it makes 0 sense to go on Twitter and do that. It's wild to me. And then not to mention, I swear to God, another frustrating thing is Kyle has been drawing up plays for you. Kyle has been fighting to get you touches. In press conferences all fucking year, I have been hearing, we're trying to get him touches. Oh, we're doing this and we're doing that. And like Kyle's been standing up for you all fucking year. And you want to pull this shit? It doesn't make sense to me, man. It's extremely selfish. You are not a captain. You have been, just because you've had a disappointing year, you want to take it out on everybody else except yourself and hold zero accountability for yourself and for what you decide to do. It is wild to me. Just because, I decided to go on a diet. I really took care of my body. I went to voluntary OTAs, blah, 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 blah. But you're not showing us on the field what you could do. And we're going to go through the stats. We're going to look at the stats and be like, hey, and we're going to check it out. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at the stats. We're going to see what's going on here and see if you are getting enough touches. Let's see what's happening. We're going to look at the stats right now. That's what we're going to do. But first, let's take a look at some of these comments. I'm sure you guys are heated about it too. I haven't seen a single 49ers fan agree with this, and they shouldn't. It's wild. We're fighting for a playoff spot, and you want to do this shit? I just don't get it. I do not understand. Like, okay, I understand that every wide receiver has a diva in them, but it's illogical to try to tell the scream on top of your lungs on Twitter where everyone can see it, being like, it's not me. It's not my problem. Even though you're having the second worst season ever when it comes to production that he's ever had. He hasn't been this bad since the year after he got his contract. He's playing absolutely terrible. And let's go take a look at some of these comments here. I don't know who the hell Deebo thinks he is complaining like that. I don't get it. I really don't. The issue is Deebo needs to go back from number 1 to 19. I know. And then he was just like really bragging himself up. Like, I'm changing my number. I'm going to restructure my contract. I'm going to come to OTAs. I'm going to get really fit. Well, that didn't fucking do a damn thing. It just made you worse. You're putting out a worse product out there, and you want to blame everyone else except yourself. It's just, you're a captain, dude. A captain. That means you speak for the team. That's what you're doing. You speak for the team. What you say matters. You're a captain. You were voted by your teammates to lead. It's disrespectful to everyone else because now everyone else has to deal with this. Everyone else on the team that's not named Deebo Samuel now has to answer for his dumbass tweet. Everyone else has to answer. Fred Warner, who's been quiet, right? He's every reason a bitch, and he hasn't done it. Kittle now has to answer for it, and he has every reason to bitch, and he hasn't done it. It's insane to me that the guy who's been shit all year and is captain is screaming on top of their lungs, putting problems on everyone else. Oh, dude, it doesn't make any sense to me, dude. Hey, welcome to Side. I'm on Deebo's side. If you are, man, that's cool. What's going on, my friend? Coming from Chicago, a dire fan of the 49ers. Nothing before now. Let's go. 40. Get that W Thursday night. Let's go, man. We can get it. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. Take away that captain tag already. Oh, Niners for life in the house. Rick Diaz in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dang in the house. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. What's going on, friend? Let's get that W. Take away that captain. I know, dude. It's ridiculous, dude. You're putting it on everyone else, man. It's just like that's something even if you felt that way, and I don't think you should, but even if you felt that way, you keep that in the locker room. You talk to other people in the locker room. And you know what? And just kind of came on top of my head. Maybe he did do that. Maybe he went to Kyle. And that would explain Kyle's press conferences where he's like, yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to give it Deebo. And we all saw the last live for the people who were here. I freaked the fuck out. I said, no, leave him alone. Stop giving Deebo touches. It sounds to me that Deebo has been complaining and he's had some issues and he's just had enough. And he's tired of people telling me he's struggling. And he's tired of the team not getting him in the reps he needs or Brock Purdy throwing in the ball when literally he's been the utmost biggest disappointment on the team ever. A year where Brandon Ayuk is out and has been playing terrible. A year where we didn't – or Juwan Jennings has to step up and be the man guy and be the number one wide receiver. A year where CMC is no longer getting looks because he's hurt and he's out. Deebo was the number one priority heading into this season. He was the number one guy that you wanted to rely on because he is not only a captain, but he's one of the highest paid players. And throughout this entire year, we've needed him. And I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've seen this dude on jet sweeps with zero burst. I cannot tell you the amount of times that he catches the ball magically and does nothing with it. I can't tell you the amount of times that the ball will literally hit his fucking hands. It will drop to the floor. Or for some reason, when he goes to catch a ball, his hands are like this. Not like this, like this. And it'll go straight through him, and it's an interception. He is a liability. He's not just playing bad. He's a liability. I don't understand. I don't understand why he's in such self-denial. He must have an echo chamber around him, like just giving him affirmations, being like, hey, guess what, man? You're actually playing really good, bro. I don't know what people are talking about. You got to be having people around you feeding you bullshit, feeding your ego. Because when I saw that tweet, dude, I was so blown away. I was like, what? Like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not getting the ball? We're going to look at his stats right now. I'm going to bring it up. But first, let's get through some of these comments. 49ers being in the house. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Deebo got owned. Yes, he should, man. The community note was great. Yeah, 110% he's a captain. He really tweeted that out. I can't believe it, dude. How dare you? He's terrible, Thang Dang. He's terrible. He's not playing good, man. If you're going to say he's not, I would love to hear how he's not. I would love to hear the reason why you think Deebo is not playing is playing great, actually, and he's just not getting the ball. Because we're going to go through his stats. I would love to hear it. Because I've looked at the stats, and I've seen the shit. I've seen his plays with my very own eyes. He is not the same. I understand there's going to be Deebo defenders and people who love Deebo, but at some point, man, you have to be like, okay, he's just not that guy anymore. You have to be realistic. You can't just be like, he's my favorite player, so no matter what, I'm going to defend him. God, it just doesn't make any sense to me, dude. Deebo not getting the ball because he's not separating. That's another thing too, man. Like if you could separate while you're, that's a good point for guys media. If you can separate, just like we needed you to separate in the Super Bowl because you couldn't do that. You don't even have the number one corner covering you, and you can't separate, dude. Not only that, when the ball touches your hands, you drop it. Like it's in your radius, and you can't catch it. I remember when Brock Purdy said about Deebo Samuel, for some reason when you throw to Deebo, the ball just sticks to his hands. It doesn't stick to his hands anymore. I haven't seen an incredible catch by Deebo in quite some time. I have not seen a Deebo performance in quite some time. I'm telling you right now, if Deebo was the same guy and it was just because he's not getting the ball enough, with CMC out, I promise you Kyle Shanahan would constantly give him the ball. Because Kyle loves Deebo. Kyle wants to work with Deebo. Like, I've not once have I ever thought, because Kyle just doesn't like Deebo Samuel. Not one time, dude. We talked about this. Before this tweet, we talked about it. Deebo he's in a tier of players where no matter what, Kyle's going to defend this person and try to get him the ball. For fuck's sakes, they restructured your contract before the season even started. You think they restructured your contract and then just say, fuck you, we're not going to give you the ball anymore? That doesn't make any sense. You're not getting the ball because you're not separating. You suck on jet sweeps. You can't catch. It's practically having Ronnie Bell out there. I'm not even kidding. It's Ronnie Bell level of drops. At least Ronnie Bell could separate. You're not good. You are a $30 million punt returner, kick returner. You're great at that. Kick returns, punt returns, man, you're a game changer, dude. An absolute game changer. But outside of that, dude, you do nothing all the time. I went into this year expecting to see some Deebo because Ayuk was out, right? I was like, okay, Ayuk's gone, and so we got to rely on Deebo. Like I said, CMC's going to be out, so we have the backup running backs. We're probably going to use Deebo more in the backfield, which we did at the start, right? This was a perfect opportunity for Deebo to show that he still got it this year. And I'm telling you right now, if Deebo still had it, Kyle Shanahan would be giving him the ball left and right, would be scheming it up. Brock Purdy would be throwing him the ball all the fucking time. That's not happening because you suck now. All right, some guys' comments. What up, what up, what up, what up? Sam from Game in the House. Hello, chat. Hey, we're showing some love. Hey, we're showing some love. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. I don't even think BA would blame anyone but himself after all the bad games he's had after getting injured. Yeah, 110%. I don't think once Brandon Ayuk throughout all of his time, even though wide receiver was supposed to be diva, he had that holdout situation. When he wasn't playing good, I don't think once he threw anybody under the bus. Not one time, right? And it's you're a captain. Like, if you weren't a captain, this would, like, hurt a lot less. But the fact that you are a captain, you're choking out teammates, and you're blaming everyone else but yourself is what baffles me. Man, if I was a captain on a team, I would take that so seriously. I'd be like, okay, yes, I'm held to a higher standard. I am held to a higher standard because I'm a captain. I'm supposed to lead by example. You don't get a C because it's a fancy little thing you get on your jersey. You get the C because the teammates around you trust you to be the guy to lead. Do not just lead by your play, but to lead by who you are when you lose, to lead by who you are when you win. It's when you win. We beat the Bears, and you're acting like this. Like, we're fighting for a playoff spot, and you're acting like this. Like, it's almost like if we were 2-14 or 2 and whatever, not fighting for a playoff spot, and it's over. I get the frustration. Like, there's other things to make the situation better. But this is literally a situation where we need you as a captain to not act like this. It's in situations like this where we need you the most, and you act like this. Just the C on your chest is not just some fucking vanity that we're putting on your clothes. Oh, Lord. Lordson. All right. I don't even think BA would have, he deleted the Twitter, so it doesn't count. It's too late. We already saw it, man. Let's go with Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs is lucky team in the NFL. What's up, Tyler Holden? No, coolest Chiefs fan I know, but coolest Chiefs fan I know. Yeah, man, that doink, black magic, dude. Like, I don't know. That was crazy, dude. I was like, when I saw it doink off the post, I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, the Chargers won. But nah, dude, it doink back fucking in, dude. Let's hope it's just a mental game that the 49ers are playing with the Rams, so they'll just focus on Deebo and shift all the defense towards him, leaving all the players open is just wishful thinking. I would say so, but hey, maybe. Because we are focusing on Deebo. I like that. Try to pour some water in the cup. We're trying to pour some water in the cup here for Deebo. I appreciate it, Papa J. You're trying, but I'm not gonna go with that. But I love trying to make it work. I like that a lot. Deebo should take advice from Kittle to stay positive. No, Kittle, honestly, out of all the players that could complain right now, is Kittle. Like, Kittle would have a pass. If I saw that from Kittle, I'd be shocked because it's not very Kittle-esque, but I feel like every 49ers fan would be on board. They'd be like, yeah, man, you really should be getting the ball more. Like, straight up. You are productive. Deebo and Kittle have almost the same amount of touches, and Kittle's been significantly more productive than him. It's not like he's getting one target a game so you can't get going. We're going to look at his stats right now. We'll take a look at his stats first. Let's take a look at I want to get to these comments first. Let's not target people. He's allowed to have his opinion. You just disagree with it. I got a take for you, Wolf. He says, Steve-O in the house. You're allowed to disagree with people in here. All right, well, you're allowed to disagree. Just can't get personal. That's all I ask. Here. Name this player. We won and another team won this week. We had trade rumors before the draft. Both are friends and have the same agent. Both complained about getting the ball this weekend. A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel. A.J. Brown. Was Deebo trolling AJ, or are they just playing together next year? I don't think Deebo, to come back to the other thing, because before we look at his stats, because I want to show you that he's got enough targets and touches to prove that he deserves more targets. And we're gonna look at that. But I don't think he was trolling, because that was a terrible attempt, because it doesn't necessarily target Eagles. It targets the 49ers specifically, right? Now, if he said something like in a sarcastic way in his tweet and worded it right, then that's the case. But he didn't. What AJ Brown said was the pass was a problem. Like if he said like something of that nature, I would get it. But also Deebo was kind of, I didn't watch the interview. I just seen some clips here and there. Deebo was kind of being upset for some reason after the Bears W, and this tweet makes sense. The tweet makes sense to me. Speaking of restructures, Harvard gone in the offseason post June 1st. Yeah, I got to take a look at that. I have no idea how his restructure is. I have not seen it. I did pull up the article, so we'll read it. But if that's the case, that's awesome, because I know that he was already, we would have saved $70 million. $70 million. We would have saved $20 million if we cut him June 1st next year of Hargrave already, with a $7-point-something million dead cap. I can't remember exactly what it is. But yeah, if that benefits us even more, I'd love it. I love it. If we can get more than $20 million, I don't think it would be up on over the cap yet. So I don't think we could look at the exact number, because usually it takes about a day or two for over the cap to put to adjust it into their site. So we're gonna have to wait until Thursday, because I am gonna go live on Thursday. And keep in mind, guys, I will be live for that game against the Rams on Thursday. Be there for the conversation. Be there for all the ups and downs. Should be exciting. Should be fun. But yeah, Steve, that's a good way to look at 110%. Kittle, the only Pro Bowler this year. The whole team sucks. I know, dude. It just, is like Deebo seriously thinks it's a terrible season for him is because of Purdy or Kyle. No excuse. He's saying one or the other, whether he likes it or not. If you're going to Twitter and you're saying something, this is something you would say to like somebody you just saw like on the street, or like it's a one-on-one type thing. You'd be like, hey man, I'm doing what I can. I'm not struggling, man. I'm just not getting the ball enough. All right, bro. If I can keep going, like, it's just, if you kept it at like a floor level between one other person, you said something like that, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? It's kind of like when Mahomes said about Herbert, like, I'd like to see him do it or some shit between one other guy. But the reason why he got posted on the internet and became like a big deal, it's kind of the same thing. If this was like a personal conversation between a one-on-one kind of type person, then you're not purposely trying to throw your teammates on the bus to the whole world, right? You're just having a conversation with someone else and you're saying, I actually been great. You know, there's a difference there. There's a huge difference. It's difference if like someone recorded him privately and someone just posted this shit. Then he says, hey, I'm not trying to throw my teammates under the bus. I'm not doing that. I was just having a conversation with somebody. I just responded with somebody. That would be different. But he, on his own will, decided to go out and do this by his own will. Ugh. If I'm right, Wolfie would be looking real dumb. Poppy, if I'm right, Wolfie would be looking real dumb. Yeah, if he somehow is talking about AJ Brown, I really hope that his next tweet should have been about, hey, I'm talking about AJ Brown. If that's the case, right? But he didn't do that. The next tweet was, I'm just not throwing my teammates under the bus. Him after the game when he was talking to the Bears, he would not have been looking sad. He'd be looking more happy, right? So I'm not, even if he were to come out today and say like, oh, I was actually talking about AJ Brown, I wouldn't believe him, because he would have said that immediately after his first tweet. He would have cleared things up immediately, be like, oh, it was just a joke about AJ Brown. Oh, it was just a joke about one of my friends. So he can say that, right? But it's too late. You can't put it back in the bottle. Matthew in the house. Steve Lucas in the house. He was always releasing those videos of him running on that machine like he was a cheetah or something. We know better. I know, dude. He cannot hit that jet sweep anymore, that burst, right? No, we do this for the love of the 49ers and not for the money. Exactly, man. We love this team. We love football, and that's what we're talking. We're just having a great conversation, not trying to get personal, guys. We don't get personal in here. We're just talking about football. And shot at 41ers crying about a tweet. You are a 49ers fan, though. Now I'm confused. The tweet, it's what the tweet represents, man. It's not, you can dumb it down to a tweet if you want to, but he's pretty much screamed to the world, this is the problem. It's not me. It's just me not getting the touches. So you can say that it's just a tweet, but I could say a lot of things are just this, but what are the contexts of what is he doing? He's literally putting it out there for the world to see, to complain about this. He is complaining himself. He might as well got on a microphone, he might as well on a megaphone and said, I'm not getting the ball enough. Like, a tweet is a big deal. You're taking something out of the locker room. It is no different than if you were to go and say something to a media member. If you were to say this to a media member, would it be different? Or if not, the same? So I understand that there's going to be some Deebo defenders out there, but realistically, a tweet is you screaming to the world, hey, this is that. So it's not just a tweet, right? And if we really want to get down to the brass tacks, call us 40 whiners, every single team has dealt with some Deebo wide receiver. A.J. Brown saying pass. Like, the passing is the issue. You're going to call them whiners? Or it'd be like, oh man, that's kind of stupid for him to say something like that. You got to call it like it is. We cannot sit here and be like, hey, this guy gets a pass because 3 years ago he was dominant. Or I love this guy, so no matter what, this dude gets a pass. No, you are literally bringing this. If he said this in the locker room, now the media members, not even 49ers fans, media members are going to bring this to George Kittle. They're going to bring this to Fred Warner. They're going to bring this to many other players that have nothing to do with this. And if he just kept it to himself, that wouldn't happen. So it's more than just a tweet. It's way more than just a tweet. This is just outrageous. I thought the BA situation was bad. This might have gotten worse. I know. It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, why would you do that? You're a captain, man. If you really care about the channel, then don't ask that. I gave Deebo 3 games to get 100 games after that throat punch, though. Yeah, I gave Deebo 3 games to get 100-yard game after that throat punch, though. I don't know what that means. I truly don't know what that means. Kansas City 3 backup kicker is crazy. No doubt, no doubt. For real, he's just a weaker now. Those workouts did not work out for him. I know he had this whole thing of like, I'm coming back. And he kind of set the expectations that he's going to be better than he was last year. And he didn't do that. And I just, enough with the Deebo. I just, like, if you were productive and you complained, I get it. I would be on board with it a lot more than I would. It's as if Ronnie Bell were to complain, it feels like, dude. It's if George Kittle, if he complained, like I said 1,000 times, if he did it, totally understand. He's been producing. He should get the ball more. He should get more targets. Juwan Jennings should get more targets. Like, it just, how many? You got 60, I can't remember how many touches, but you got like 60 plus touches. And you want to say you need the ball more to be more productive? Dog, that is about like only how many games are we in right now? That is about how much an average wide receiver gets. And you're saying you need the ball more to get yourself going? Like, how much of a head start do you possibly need to get your ass going? Because I've seen you from game 1. I've seen you from game 1 and 2 and 3 getting this amount of targets from the start, performing, putting up stats, being elite, being a game changer. But not one time this year, other than being a punt returner or a kick returner, has he been elite. He has not had a game where I said, oh my God, that was a Deebo game. Like, the last time he had a Deebo game was against the Eagles last year. That was the game you could say, okay, that was a Deebo game. That was a Deebo game. Not one game. Not one time. Deebo's mad because someone in the sports media says captain badge should be stripped. And that is something Someone's going to say that. There's always, if you're not producing, someone's going to talk shit about you. If you're not producing, just like I was talking shit, like, dude, you're not performing, you don't deserve the ball anymore. But if he's taking it that personal because some media member was like, you should have the C taken away from you, you're going to snap like that? You're going to throw your teammates under the bus like that? You're going to throw your coach under the bus like that just because some person has a negative opinion on you? So you're going to throw everyone else under the bus? That's not fair. Like, it's just mind-blowing. You're a captain. Like, if you want, if like just someone snap that's captain right from you, like, oh, you know what? You just gave so many more people a reason to agree with that guy who said, hey, you should have your C stripped from you. You gave them more of a reason, and you just gave other people who didn't even think about that be like, yeah, you probably should have that. I didn't think that. I didn't think that he should have his C stripped from him. I was like, he's not bitching and complaining to the media. No, he's not performing, sure. I don't like the fact that he choked out a teammate, but whatever. Everything's in the house. I liked how he responded after the game where he did not like, hey, man, that's the game. I was just trying to fire him up. It was blah, 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 blah. That was very captain-esque. But then you snap like this. Like this is warrants your C being stripped from you. Doing something like this warrants that. Someone here is going to talk shit about me. Someone here is not going to like me. That's just how it is. Someone doesn't like Larry. Someone doesn't like Brad. Someone doesn't like somebody. Someone's going to say that my channel should be taken from me. There's always going to be somebody talking shit. And especially when you don't produce. But when you live up to that criticism, that's when everyone starts being like, okay, I agree. I did not agree until this happened. Fortnite Brian in the house. Deebo's going to go big against. I hope so, man. I hope to God that he uses this as fuel, and that whatever reps he gets, whatever touches he gets, he turns it into the craziest game he's ever had. I hope this lights a fire under him and he performs again. Because you know what? If he performs against the Lambs, you know what I'm going to say? My God, he performed, man. He needed this. He needed to tweet that out. He freaking needed it. He needed the criticism. He needed the world against him for this to happen. I want that to happen as a 49ers fan more than anything. But this is going to be a burden on everyone else on the team. I hope he pops off, man. I hope he pops off. I hope he's good. I'm a troll. I know trolling. I think you said I'm not a troll, or you're saying I am trolling. What up, Tyler and Papa G? We're showing love. Hey, that's what I like to see. What's your Venmo? You have 10 seconds or I'm not donating. Sorry. It's fine with me. Matthew, calm down. Steve-O, you're a good troller, though. I get only on Twitter once a month so I can stay sane. That's okay. Donate that money to a good cause somewhere. But exactly, man. Hey, you got that money to spare, bro? Give it to someone else, man. Like, yeah. Then I'm donating to the. We're not talking about. We do not do politics here, people. We do not do politics. No mention of product. No politics, guy. No politics at all. We do not talk politics. I'm going to give you one more shot, man. That's all I ask. It doesn't matter what side you're on. I don't care. We're going to talk about football and football only. I do not give a shit about your politics. And you shouldn't give a shit about mine. We're just here to talk football. Nice work, Papa J. Yep. What is up with 49 wide receivers becoming divas? I don't understand. I don't get it, dude. Like, that's like another subject I guess we could talk about it. It needs to be studied. Like, there's not enough Larry Fitzgeralds at wide receivers these days. Larry Fitzgerald was like the prime example of what a good wide receiver is. He was great and fantastic, elite, but never once bitched and complained about his targets. He was the pinnacle. Like, I love Larry Fitzgerald. I think he was one of the greatest wide receivers I've ever seen. He was phenomenal. but never bitched and complained. He was on the fucking Cardinals, dude. He was on the Cardinals. He was loyal to that team, bro. Like, I don't get, I try to understand, like, maybe it's because they get the ball and when they score, like, growing up, you get all that praise, right? You're like, oh my God, you scored a touchdown. Oh my God, that was an incredible catch, blah, blah, blah. So, like, all that gets to your head. So, like, as you get older, it creates a diva in you because you're not getting that thrill of someone going, yeah, you know, like they're addicted to that almost. And Larry Fitzgerald's the only one that I've seen to not be addicted to that kind of attention. Larry Fitzgerald is like, God, I wish more wide receivers could be like him. Truly. Like, it's almost an addiction for some of these wide receivers. And that's probably why some of these wide receivers become great, is because the only way for them to get that fix is by getting the ball, right? It's the only way. And then when they don't get that fix, despite getting the ball, they're being like, oh, you're not going to take that from me. Like, it was totally somebody else, not me. It's got to be like an addiction. It's got to be that dopamine hitting your head, hitting your brain, and you're just not getting it. And so, just like drug addicts, man, they do not blame drug addicts, only blame everyone else but themselves. It's the same thing. Like the glory, the addiction of everyone screaming your name and all that, it's almost a drug itself. And these wide receivers are just addicted to it. So they can't see past them. They can't see past all the other shit that's happening, like that goes into them getting the ball and performing. They can't see past all the bullshit that they're not doing. They think it's everyone else's problem, not theirs. It's an addiction. They're addicted to the game. They're addicted to the glory. First ban ever. Well-deserved. Oh, we got a ban? We got a ban? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. We got a ban. Papa J, we don't deal with politics, bullshit. We're strictly football and football. And Papa J, the greatest mod a bro could ask for. I tell you what, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just leave Deebo on special teams. That's what I'm saying. The dude is like a prime. Like, he's still got it there. Like, on kick returns and punt returns, bro is a game changer. Crazy, dude. Game changer, man. Game changer. But outside of that, dude, he says Larry made a good point. Larry Krueger made a very good point about Deebo Samuel. I don't know how long ago it was. Deebo needs like 6 or 7 steps to start like performing. And in kick returns and punt returns, you get those steps. But like short range burst, it's not there. It's just not there. I remember, and I don't want to go too much on Deebo because we got to talk about other things, but like I remember a day where Deebo would, like, he would defy expectations on jet sweeps. He would defy expectations as a running back. Like, I would expect him to go down. He would get positive yards. I would expect him to only get 5 yards, but somehow he got 15. Like, he used to be that guy. But not only does he, like, not meet expectations, like, not only is he not beating the expectations, he's not meeting expectations, right? Like, there'll be a time where multiple times throughout this year where he's gotten jet sweeps, I thought to myself, oh my God, there's an opening on the edge here. He's going to hit it. Oh my God, there's like 2 or 3 blocks here. You just got to make one guy miss. Oh my God, here it comes. And it never comes. It never happens. It never comes to fruition. And I get extremely disappointed. It's a loss of yards immediately. Like, he would defy expectations. And then not only does he not meet expectations, he doesn't even get there. He doesn't even get there anymore. It's wild, dude. It's wild. You got $30 million because of your breakout season. Play like and stop whining. 100 times. Like, for some reason, like, even though he wasn't performing after that year, like that 2021 season, you can't expect him to like repeat something like that. That's kind of a high expectations. But like, he never got back to form. For the 3 years or whatever, he's never gotten back to form. He's not even gotten remotely close to form. It's wild, the drop off the moment he got money. It's insane to me the drop off he got. Nobody liked, yeah, let's not talk about that. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Just got off the presser. Hey, Strawberry Rex in the house. How was this presser, man? We're going to go ahead and watch that. We're going to watch the presser. We'll do what we can to watch the presser. That's actually something I actually have loaded up, and I was waiting for the presser to be over. Hope it's good. Hope there was a good response. I'm sure Kyle talked about Deebo. I'm sure. And we're showing some love. That's what I like to see. Sam and Papa J. Facts, Papa. If Deebo says Purdy it's over him, it's on T.O. versus Garcia. Without a doubt. Let's go. King Mufasa in the house. Brock just said it has more to do with the game script and what the defense is doing. And that's true because a lot of Kyle's things is really like what is his scheme is really based on what the defense is doing. The problem is like as of late, his answers to those defensive situations aren't as good. Like he's trying something new with his scheme against those defensive schemes, and it's just not working, right? And because I've heard, I didn't watch the Bears game. I know, I'm a piece of shit. I didn't watch the Bears game. I just watched the highlights and what everyone was talking about, and I got information from that. But from what I've heard, there was a lot of under center plays. There's a lot more play action. It looked a lot more old school. Kyle Shanahan scheme, a lot more Jimmy G-esque. I heard scheme against that team. Showing some love. That's what I like to see. All right, cool. Penguin Fasa, Brian, showing some love. JJ's no diva, dude, is a strip dog. I know. Even JJ, dude, like JJ and Kittle, like the two players on this team, where if they complained a little bit, I wouldn't hold it against them. And you need to give JJ the C, straight up, because he's leading. The funny thing about JJ is you think with his personality and the way that he acts, you think that he would snap at some point. The way he acts, you think like there's a diva in him, but it's not. It's like a chill diva in JJ. And I love that about him. It's almost like he's literally Kendrick Bourne. Like his attitude is literally Kendrick Bourne. That's how he's better than Kendrick Bourne, obviously, but he's got that same vibe about him. We're like, I want to make plays, make great plays. And then afterwards, I'm not going to blame anyone, man. Like if I'm not getting targets, whatever, dude, I'm going to do a dance. That's JJ. And Kittle's almost the same way, man. Kittle's almost the same way, if not, but Kittle's like tenfold better leader, I would say. But I hope Ricky stays away from Deebo's drama. Deebo poisoned BA over money and how he manipulated the 49ers. I kind of saw the same exact thing. I agree with you on that. I kind of like that comparison where Deebo and Ayuk were like really, they played off each other a lot. They're really good friends, etc. And when you have echo chambers in your ear constantly telling you, hey, Ayuk, you're this guy, you deserve this, blah, 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 blah. You're going to start feeling yourself and you're going to start attaching yourself to that echo. And I agree. I do agree with that. I kind of like that assessment. But Ayuk, even then, though, the vibe I got from him when he got signed, just like he did after I think it was his press conference after he got signed, you could tell he had regret. You could tell that there was like, man, I wish I didn't act like that, actually. You know what? I shouldn't have done that. I'm glad I got paid. But I wish I didn't do that. You could tell there was a regret on Ayuk. Deebo never had 1 ounce of regret, even though he had a shit 2020 year. Ayuk, you could tell, was like, I feel awkward. I feel weird. I don't like what I did. And you could tell it kind of carried over into the season. And he's been getting a lot of shit. Ayuk's been getting a lot of shit. You know? And I just feel like the last person on this team, I'm trying to think of someone else who would be the last person to complain. But I truly feel like Deebo, who's had more healthy situations, more of an opportunity than any other player to show himself that he can separate, to show himself that he can get that yak like he used to show himself that he had that burst on jet sweeps. I feel like out of all the players that shouldn't complain is him. Like out of all the players, I can't think of another player who could possibly complain more than who doesn't have a right to complain more than him. Wow, it's wild to me. It's time for retool O-line, rebuild O-line after his year for Kansas City Chiefs. I'm done with YN1. He was on my tie. Now DJ Humphries, he is hurt. You got to give Kingsley a little bit more time to develop. He is a rookie. Got to pass on that. I do agree. Wanya Morris has been a bit of disappointment for you guys. He's going to get Patrick Mahomes is going to get killed for you, brother. Like if you guys don't get that protection, it's going to cost you in the playoffs. I understand that like you're having some black magic situations happening here, but like your team is there is a flaw there, and it's going to take just one sack for your whole entire season to be over, right? It's you guys that's crazy. That's crazy. I do agree. Jay Vallejo, what up? Welcome to the stream. Sucks to be nobody bought the number 1 Deebo jersey. They shouldn't. I think it's ridiculous for him to be like, yeah, let me just switch numbers. Like from 19 to 1. I didn't like that at all. I really didn't. I actually thought to myself, like, I want to see if you're going to switch numbers like that, you need to perform. And he didn't do that. I didn't like that at all. Tyler, welcome to the rest of the NFL. Most teams don't have the O-line or no one has. Yeah, like O-line is probably the hardest thing to like. It's almost as like a top 10 O-line is still bad, right? Getting a great O-line is kind of hard. The only teams I feel like that cannot complain, because even the Dallas Cowboys, they have a great O-line when they're healthy, but they don't have a healthy O-line. So they're dealing with some depth issues. The only offensive line that I can think of on top of my head that doesn't, there's 2 actually, now that I say it. There's 2 offensive linemen that have no excuses. That is the Eagles and Lions. On top of my head, those are 2 incredible offensive linemen. There is 0 excuses for those quarterbacks. There is like their offensive line is insanely good, super good. It's wild to me. I was showing some love. Hey, that's what I like to see. 12-1. Seriously, don't feel sorry. 12-1. Seriously, don't feel sorry for you. For real. Dan Wolf, you missed a great game. I know, dude. I was so bummed. I was watching the Bill. I had the Bills and Rams game on, so that was still a great game, you know. But yeah, I had to get updates on my phone, people tweeting, etc. So I was seeing all that shit from there. But that game was great. Look, Josh Allen had an incredible performance, and I made a comment on a video on TikTok. I made a comment saying, Josh Allen's fantastic. It's too bad he couldn't elevate his team to a W. Only great quarterbacks do that. I even did it in like sarcastic characters, like you do one capital letter, one short letter, one capital letter. Everyone thought I was serious. And everyone was replying like, you're stupid. You don't know anything. You're dumb. I'm like, I was just joking, dude. I was being sarcastic. But nah, dude, everyone was raging hard and then I started to roll with it. I'm not gonna lie. I started joking. I was like, hey, you know what? But I tell you what, he may have scored 6 touchdowns, but when you needed him the most at that last drive, it didn't happen, did it? It's like, I know Josh Allen performed. It was not his fault he lost, 110%. But at that point, when everyone was just like coming at me, bro, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna roll with it. Oh my God. Hell no, I didn't watch the game and call it the Bears game, not a Niner game. You're true, man. That's true. You're spitting hot fire, Steve-O. You're right. I was gonna do a gun shoot thing in my head thing, but I think I'll get flagged for that. So, but you're right. You're right. The 49ers versus Bears game. You're right. Steve-O, I knew the 49ers were going to win because Vegas had to make their money. 110%. I knew the 49ers could beat this team. Let's go ahead. I guess we can leave the Deebo thing behind and start talking about the Bears game itself. Let's reset. I feel like if you guys have any more comments you want to say about Deebo, put it out there. But let's just go ahead and move on to the next thing. I think we've said everything possible. I know we're going to look at the stats, but we have 48 minutes. We're 48 minutes this live, and I got things to do today. Usually lasts about an hour for these lives, but so let's move on to the next thing. We said everything we need to say about the Deebo thing. I don't agree with it. If you believe in Deebo and you agree with him, that's fine. That you have a right to have that opinion. And I'm not going to say that you shouldn't have that opinion or whatever. But I will disagree with you. I will 110% disagree with you on that. So let's move on to the next thing, the Bears game. Okay, so people need to calm down. You guys may not like that. You guys may disagree with me on that because I feel like I'm in the minority when I say this. They didn't have a head coach, people. They didn't have a head coach. And not only that, they've been on a losing streak like crazy. You're like, oh, but they were so close to beating the Lions. Not only is that a divisional game, they had their head coach. When you don't have your head coach, things change. Sometimes the interim head coach comes in and it's better, or the players feed off that. But let's remember the Bears were on a losing streak and they lost their head coach, which is the whole the whole culture. So once he's gone, there's a void in culture there. It's gone. And sometimes if you don't respect the interim head coach, you're not going to perform. And so when they fired their head coach, I even said it. You guys were there. I've been saying it for weeks now. This Bears game is very winnable. This Bears game is, everyone was like, I don't think we can do it. Oh, we're going to play bad. They don't have a head coach. And when you don't have a head coach, that team's probably going to suck. They're not going to do well. They're going to be dysfunctional. Things aren't going to go your way. I know I sound negative, but I'm just trying to be realistic here when I say this isn't a game to flex. Be happy that we won because we're still in the playoffs, but I'm seeing videos of people being like, oh, we're still in the playoff hunt. Oh, there's still a possibility. Oh, my God, the 49ers are back. Oh, my God, they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. Stop it. The 49ers were never the best team in the NFL, but they were never the worst. This team was never the worst team in the NFL, even with all the injuries. So us beating a Bears team that was on a losing streak, doesn't have a head coach, has a rookie quarterback, etc. It's great to see these players perform, but I want to see them perform against the Rams because they're hot right now. They just got done beating the Bills. I want to see this offense perform against that team. I want to see it against other teams that are not dysfunctional. Because when you go to the playoffs, most of the time, I mean, I can't think of a single team in the playoffs right now, in the playoff hunt. Most of the time, they're not dysfunctional. Mostly they have momentum usually. Or if they have a shit ton of wins like the Eagles last year, and then they fall apart towards the end. But there's no team like that right now. And I still believe that we can go to the playoffs. I still believe that we can win games because that's something that we need to do. But I don't think this is a game to make proclamations. I don't think this is a game to start saying, hey, the 49ers are back. Hey, the 49ers, you don't want to see this team in the playoffs. I think a lot of teams would love to see the 49ers in the playoffs right now. You don't have Nick Bosa. Greenlaw is just coming back. This team is not the worst. The Bears were worse than the 49ers, I thought, even with their head coach. Then you take away their head coach, they're probably going to be a bottom 5 team at that point. And if I thought the 49ers were like between 17 and 20, I expect this team to beat the Bears. I expected that to happen. And I just don't want you guys I don't want you guys to put your expectations now super high of the 49ers, and then you get disappointed when we face the Rams. The Rams are going to be way more of a test. The Rams are going to be the true test of this team. Like, are they actually back, or can they build off this moment? I know that the team had like a meeting and whatever, like all that crap. And this is a good confidence booster, but confidence can only get you so far. It can only get you so far. It's everything can change the moment we face the Rams, especially since Garendo is hurt and probably not going to practice, but he might play, but he's not going to practice. There's still holes and worries that we need to think. We like bring back your expectations a little bit. This team is not a threat in the playoffs. Teams are not afraid to face the 49ers in the playoffs right now. And we beat a team that we were supposed to. We beat a team that we were better than completely. So if we face the Rams, though, and we beat the Rams, like especially convincingly, dominantly, the offense looks great, the defense looks great, I would get it. I'd be like, okay, yeah, the defense, okay, the 49ers are back. 49ers look great. 49ers look amazing. Okay, then you can start saying this stuff. You can start saying like, hey, they're probably going to be a threat in the playoffs now because they're just getting hot. You could say things like that, but I just don't think a team that you should beat, that you were favored by 4 points to beat, to be like, oh, they're back. They didn't defy no odds. You know what I mean? They did what they were supposed to do, I feel like. So I just want, I see it now. I see it right now with all these content creators hyping up the 49ers now because they beat the Bears. Every content creator, I don't think I know a single content creator that's being, I don't want to say realistic, because that kind of hurt, that's kind of offensive, but like not reeling it in a little bit. I feel like we're starting to feel ourselves a little much. I want to see more from this team before I start being like, oh my God, this team is going to be a threat in the playoffs. Because before this game, before we beat a team that was worse than us, the expectations, literally, I don't remember the content creator, but someone said the Bears were going to dominate us. And then the next day they were like, we beat the Bears. We're dominant. We're the best. We're going to win every game from here on out. It's like, what? That is such a flip-flop. That is such a what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you need to bring yourself back a little bit. Okay? Like, before the Bears game, the expectations wasn't even the playoffs. Like, people were saying this team was done. The season is over. And now we're preaching the season's back. It's still alive. I don't know how you literally were favored to beat the Bears. You were expected to beat the Bears. So why didn't you feel that way before the game? Why didn't you feel that way when we lost the Bills or the Green Bay? Oh, we're gonna beat the Bears, and then blah blah. But for some reason, you had your expectations that we were gonna lose to the Bears, and since your expectations were beat, you now think we're at this expectation. It's like there is a middle here. There's a middle ground. All right, let's get some of these comments about the game. That's my opinion on the game. Love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Dan Wolf missed a great game. Yeah, the Bears DC is effing dumb. He kept playing zone, even though Brock was carving it. He was carving up. Brock can carve up zone. I'm not saying Brock has a problem with man, but his biggest problem has been man. But that I don't think is his fault. I think it's because Kyle's not. I'm not going to sit here and say that Brock needs Kyle to open up players to get open all the time. But Kyle has not been scheming it up as well where at least once a quarter a player's wide open. I haven't seen that, right? Brock will tear up zone. Zone is his specialty. He knows how to dip. He's got a beautiful, beautiful dip ball where he'll go over a linebacker in zone and nail it. He's got a beautiful, beautiful anticipation throw in zone. But in man, if players cannot separate, he has to be perfect. And asking your quarterback to be perfect in man is fucking crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Kyle needs to drop up some plays where there's at least some yard of separation, something. Man is the weakness of this offense because just like in the Super Bowl, everyone figured out that none of these wide receivers get separation. That's why we drafted Pearsall. Even Kyle knew that was a problem in the Super Bowl. Deebo couldn't separate then. Ayuk was the only separator we had. And now we got Pearsall. We got Cowing. Now that's why they're there. They're man beaters. That's so weird saying that, but you know what I mean. Pause. Gotta think of another term than that. Hell no, I didn't watch the game and called it a Bears game, not another game. Steve, I knew the 49ers were going to win. Vegas going to make their money this week. Exactly. They made their money back. I've been able to bet my whole life. I'm into it. I have not. I don't bet. I rarely bet. I let my emotions get to it too much. I think way too much in belief. I become this believer like, oh, this is it. This is the game. And then I lose money every time. I'm terrible at gambling. Absolutely terrible at it. If I get sponsored by a betting service or whatever, I'll give it a shot. Right? I'll do it at that point, but do not take my word for it. Do not. Right now, I'm losing to fucking Poggy in the predictions because sometimes I let my emotions get in the way. Sometimes I feel like if you're a bettor and you're a good one, you don't let your emotions get in the way whatsoever. You think logically, and I could never bet on my team because I always think the best of them sometimes. Belief-wise, not expectations-wise, but belief-wise. You tell the process took a toll on Ayuk. The stress of it weighed on him, and not knowing he made it more stressful than it needed to be, especially at the end. Exactly. It's exactly what he said in the press conference. He really did at the end there. There's a lot of rumors. My opinion, this is just an opinion on that, was I think the deal was in place, I think on the 12th of August, and he wanted to just not be part of the training camp or whatever. And at the end of training camp, quite literally, he signs the contract that some people said that he had in place since August 12th. I think that was the deal. I think that's what it was. Like, I think like Ayuk went to Kyle and said, hey, I deserve my dues. I'm going to get paid. I'll take that contract, but I'll come back after training camp, which was terrible. I think it's a terrible idea, but that's just my opinion. That's not a fact, people. That's just an opinion. That's just an opinion that I have. Strawberry, my thoughts exactly. I'm calling now. 49ers need to win against all game and make playoffs. Maybe around wild card games and playoffs, stay positive. Yeah, wild card is definitely going to be it. 110% because first number one seed is not in play. So, and the division, we can still win the division. I don't know why I just said that, but we can still win the division, be the number 3 seed because the Falcons are terrible. And I think the Falcons and Saints are pretty bad right now. They would be the 4th seed in the situation. So the 3rd seed is still in play, I feel like, and a wild card potentially, but I feel like the division is way more in reach than it is the wild card. Because I think the Commanders have to lose out. Like a few other things have to go our way for it to happen. Stafford under rushing is 0.5 yards. I would take the over. I would take the over on that. Let's see if I'm right. I need to win against the Rams. We have to win against the Rams. If we lose against the Rams, it's over. I mean, technically you still play for the wild card, but that is so out of reach. That's where, if these are the games, just like before the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Cardinals are games the 49ers need to win for them to stay in it. I stuck to the roadmap even during Green Bay and Bills losses. I've stuck to the roadmap. And the roadmap is that we have to win these games. This is a must win for the 49ers. They could lose to the Lions. That was expected. In the roadmap, that was expected. If they beat them, if the 49ers lose to the Rams but somehow beat the Lions, they're back in it again. They're back in it. So, yeah, it's it. But I'd much rather believe in this team beating the Rams than the Lions. I'm not gonna lie to you. Take a mat and wipe my stammer and flush it down with Jimmy. That's funny. The only thing that was promising to me was how good the offense looked against a top 5 pass defense, and they actually scared the red zone. And Bears defense is actually great red zone defense. I know, but Eberflus was the driving force of that defense. Eberflus drew up those plays. He was the it's just like Robert Saleh with the Jets. Robert Saleh was the defensive coordinator essentially for the Jets, and once he left, that defense was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And Eberflus was the defensive guy for the Bears, and now he's gone, and now that defense looks terrible. Now that defense looked terrible against us, against a struggling offense. So I don't want to say like that was a good example, or like I don't want to hold a lot of weight and put my eggs in the basket because we beat a team that didn't have the head coach who was defensive head coach. I truly think Isaac's running game opened up the passing game for the offense. I credit Kyle for that, and I'm not a Kyle fan. That's true. You're not a Kyle fan at all. Believe it or not, guys, Poggy texted me during that game. I wasn't there, but he was watching the entire thing. He was like, I told you Isaac Guerendo is a good wide receiver. I told you Isaac Guerendo was good. And he was texting me like, dude, it was the Bears without their defensive head coach. Relax. He did not take that way. He's like, I'm just saying they're playing good, jackass. He's a big fan of Guerendo, and I love that he popped off. I'm a big fan of how he popped off, don't get me wrong, but I want to see it against a hot team. I want to see it against the Rams. I want to see it against something else. I just want to see this team perform against a winning team, against a team that's hot. The Bears are not a winning team, even with Eberflus. Even with Eberflus, I thought this 49ers team was going to beat them. That's how I feel about it. But I do like Isaac's potential. Isaac has a lot of potential. I like what he did. He did something very CMC-esque. I can't remember. It was in one of the highlights where Brock Purdy, off his back foot, by the way, I think he was being tackled, but off his back foot, he threw a dot where he trusted Guerendo, a rookie, to break off a defender. Like it was almost the same. It was almost like the earlier in the year, CMC had a play where he was doing a wheel route, and the defender, he broke off that defender and he got a lot of yards, right? It was almost the same thing. Like Guerendo came up off the wheel route. I think it was a wheel route. And Like the defender was right there, then he broke off. It was almost the same thing, and then he tried rolling into the end zone. So there's flashes of Isaac Guerrero. Isaac Guerrero, there is something there, man. There's something there. Spotty G in the house. I'm not that excited over this win, but the Bears did take the Lions down to wire. The Detroit blew them out. Then again, division games are close, and that's why they still lost. And we faced them without their head coach. I feel like having a head coach, especially one you've had throughout the year, who was your defensive catalyst, is kind of important. That's just my opinion. And again, I do feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that. And I feel like I'm in the minority when I say that we need to reel it in and be like, this was expected. I expected to beat the Bears. I truly did. If the Bears beat the Lions, we would have had a different conversation right now. We would have faced a different team. If the Bears beat the Lions, Eberflus would still be their head coach for sure. I feel like it's really confusing on how I think about the 49ers. We got to see more. I want to see more of this. I just need to see more against a team that's not firing their head coach, that's not a losing team. And again, even with Eberflus, I expected to beat them. I was really confident we're going to beat them without Eberflus. Papa, I thought Isaac was an okay runner. His ability to actually run routes is a lie. Is like CMC. Obviously not as good as CMC. Open things up more. He brings more to the table in the passing game than JP did. That I do agree with. And I think you did say. I don't know if you said Mason Strawberry or Isaac at the beginning of the year before he even started. I think it was during the preseason. Someone said that Isaac Guerrero is actually a really good wide receiver, and you guys agreed with Poggy because Poggy's been preaching that he's you need to use him like CMC in the passing game. I disagree. And before Poggy, I think it was you, Strawberry, that told me that too, or you said that about JP Mason. I don't remember, but there is potential there. You guys, I was wrong about that. It seems like where there is potential for Isaac Guerrero to be good in the passing game. Do you like fantasy football league? I have not been in a fantasy football league in quite some time. It's been a few years. I think the last time I was in a fantasy football league, I want to say 2019, 2018, somewhere around there. I did win the league, by the way. Just saying. Then I lost in the championship the next year. It was kind of sad. Kind of broke my heart. I was really feeling myself. I was like, man, I'm dominating. I'm fucking good at this shit. I'm the best. And then I lost the championship. I was like, no. It hurt. Strawberry for sure. I actually thought that Isaac resembled Roger Craig this last game. Not saying he is. Just that's praise. That's praise. I didn't know Roger Craig was really a pass catcher. I didn't know that. That's fair. Yeah, it was a wheel route, and I seem to see the first game back against Tampa. That throw looked eerily similar because Brock had to throw it eerily. It was like bar for bar, the same play, bar for bar. It was crazy. Tune in for the Moody messed up kicks Thursday night. No, dude. Moody, bro. Moody needs to stop missing kicks, man. He needs to stop doing that. People pick the Bears to win because the head coach being fired is supposed to give them a vibe bump or something. Yeah, sometimes, man, when you fire the head coach, the interim head coach, there's like a fire gets on the players, or there's like a luck factor. It's almost as if when you put a backup quarterback in after you lose a quarterback in an injury or them being benched, for some reason they go off on the next game or in the game they come in, but then they come back to earth after like one or two games. You know what I mean? I do agree. There's like a magic to it when that happens. And that's probably what they were expecting to happen when they fired Eberflus. If you exchange 3 49ers wins and 49ers history for 3 losses, which one would it be and why? Way it works, for example, 3 divisional round L's you can exchange for 3 divisional round wins, etc. I would trade the Jimmy G 20. I think it was 2021. I can't remember what it was. This is just on top of my head, by the way. I would trade the Jimmy G 2021 NFC Championship game. I think that's what it was, to have Brock Purdy back in his rookie year where he tore his PCL in 2022. I think it was. I would trade that NFC Championship. That's a loss, though. That was a loss. So. I don't know. That's kind of a tough question. I don't know if there's really one to trade to get back in there. I can't really think of one. Not on the top of my head, but I would definitely trade some years to have a better year somewhere else. So, but if you're talking like if I could trade, like even though we lost in that game in the NFC Championship game, I would trade that so that Brock Purdy can have that championship. I don't want to say the Jimmy G Super Bowl NFC Championship game where Mostert went off and only Jimmy G threw like 8 passes or some shit, and we still went to the Super Bowl. Maybe that one. Maybe just because that is the worst Super Bowl loss of the 3, and if you told me that Super Bowl didn't exist, I'd feel a lot better. And I do think that Brock would probably have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl in that year. So probably that. I can't think of 3, but that's probably what I do with 1. Maybe that Super Bowl run, because losing in 2019 was the one that hurt the most. Losing us, I've said this before, but just for people who haven't been here before, losing to the Ravens in that Super Bowl in 2012, yeah, it's the first Super Bowl loss, whatever, but from the jump, I knew that we didn't deserve that Super Bowl. The Ravens earned it from the start, right? They were dominant. They were destroying us, and we were only lucky to come back. We were only lucky to have the lights off and be able to adjust and fix it. That was luck. This previous Super Bowl, it went into overtime. It was a great game. It could have gone both ways, etc. That's just how it was. But in 2019, that was ours. That was our Super Bowl to win. That was all us. And then we choked it away. That one hurts so much. When I think about it, dude, I just want to go to sleep because I'm so depressed thinking about it. It is terrible. That Super Bowl kills me. Absolutely kills me. We should have won that one. But the Ravens one, I get it. We went into overtime in the previous one. That's okay. But in 2019, there's no excuse for that. There was no fucking excuse for that. And we lost, in my opinion, not because of Kyle Shanahan. I know a lot of people want to throw Kyle Shanahan on it. I think it's because Jimmy G sucked ass in the fourth quarter. Jimmy G could not make a play to save his life in the fourth quarter. He could not do anything. He was fucking terrible. Jimmy G choked. I thought it was Jimmy G's fault we lost that game. 110%. And that was when I lost. That's when I didn't like Jimmy G before, but after that Super Bowl, I was off the bandwagon. I was done with that motherfucker. Done. Absolutely done. Crazy. So but I went on a whole other tangent. That's a 4-hour show. Yeah, I really would need to think about that one. I just traded 3 NFC Championship game wins the century 2019 for the 3 losses in 2020 and 2011 with the Kyle Williams fumble. Yeah, that would have been good. 2013. I don't know what happened in 2013. And in 2021, do we win the Super Bowl in those years? I don't know, but at least they're guaranteed 3 more chances at the Super Bowl. But you could say the same thing. Well, let's say we lost in 2011, 13, and 21. You would think to yourself, oh, we lost an NFC Championship in 2012, 2019, and 2023. We would have won that Super Bowl. You could say the same thing in retrospect. You just don't know what would have happened. Like, you would do it now if you could, just so that you could see what happened, but it doesn't change the fact that we could have lost those Super Bowls just as much as the one that we did lose. There's no guarantee there. So you would have felt the same way if the opposite happened. So I'm in a fantasy for that's a whole lot of games to think about. Yeah, that's a lot of games to think about. It's true. I might trade the L to the Rams in 2021 when the Rams won the Super Bowl because they would have a better chance to beat the Bengals than the Chiefs that year before. Didn't the Rams beat the Bengals? Do you know Roman Reigns is a big fan of the 49ers wrestler? I know I'm not a big wrestling fan, not a wrestling guy, but I have heard that he's a 49ers fan. The band Train. You guys heard the band Train? Hey, soul sister. Hey, Mr. Hey, 49ers fan. 49ers fan. Metallica. 49ers fans. Straight up. I would I would rather have Brock Purdy than 110%, dude. 110%. I'm with you on that. 100%. There's a lot of Jeff Garcia, Stu Marucci days that I would trade also for. That's true. I would too, man. Those were bad times. Those were bad times. I don't remember that because I didn't become a fan of football until 2005, so I was a little bit past my time because because I don't remember. I think Jeff Garcia left in 2004, so I just missed him. I have watched highlights and I have watched some stuff like that, but yeah, I agree. I think Brock's better than Jeff Garcia. That could be recent bias or not. I don't know, but yeah, Brock's way better than Jimmy. It isn't even close. It's not even fucking close, dude. It's not even close. That's a good point, Wolfie. Then let me just trade it for the 29 cents and we win all those Super Bowls because they have the champion with the Super Bowl back. There would be more recent Super Bowls than 49ers. The Dallas 90s. That's true. That's okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. That one I get because that legacy would be crazy. That legacy would be crazy, bro. And I think we were really hot around that time. I think we had like one bad year, I think, in 1990. And I think for the most part, we were just dominant, and then we ended up losing. And then that's where Steve Young was like, I gotta get the monkey off my back because like he was dominant throughout the entire time he was the quarterback, but he never came up when we needed him the most. And he had that monkey on his back. And I remember that in the Super Bowl when he actually won that Super Bowl, he was like, take the monkey off my back. I'm done. I won. Woo. So it makes Steve Young feel a lot better too. And I think he would have a better opportunity. And I do like the fact that it would take away from Dallas. So, and that's always a bonus. Not gonna lie. That's always a bonus. Take something away from Dallas. I like that. Where's Jimmy G currently? He's on the Rams. He's on the Rams. The only downside is that we would be 0-7 in the NFC Championship of the century. Still would be better than 0-3 in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl losses are the worst. They hurt so much. Like, yeah, they hurt the most, but technically, all 30 teams were worse than your team, right? Technically. Like, everyone, I guess in your conference, not the rest of the AFC, because AFC is not technically responsible for the NFC going to the Super Bowl, right? So you were technically better. So the 49ers were better than the Eagles. 49ers were better than the Cowboys. 49ers, like all those teams, not named 49ers in the NFC Championship, in the NFC, cannot say a damn fucking thing because they did not get there, right? Packers can't say anything. Lions can't. So like you do have a leg to stand on, but you were this close. It's fucking close to glory, dude. It hurts so much because you can almost taste it. You're salivating at the idea of winning a Super Bowl. And you're like, yes, it's coming. And then it gets taken from you, man. It's like as if you are a child and your mom and dad is like, hey, we're going to Disneyland in July or whatever. I don't know if that's a good time to go to Disneyland, but whatever. It's April and someone tells you, oh, we're going to Disneyland. Then you get to July and it's like a week before you go to Disneyland and someone tells you, hey, we're still going to Disneyland. And then like your dad gets fired or something happens with the tickets, whatever it may be. And then it gets taken from you. You know what I mean? It's like that. It hurts the most, but on a statistical, logical standpoint, you were more dominant than any other team in the NFC. So there is something there that you can hang your hat on. So like if a Lions fan or an Eagles fan talk shit, like, did you go to Super Bowl? I don't remember you going to Super. I remember you choking in the wild card against the Bucks. I remember you guys having the longest choke artist thing I've ever fucking seen in my life, dude. Let's just talk about that for a second. I want to talk about that. They had 11 something wins or something like that, and they choked. It was incredible to see. I have never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable watching them choke after choke after choke. Like, there's the 49ers choke the Super Bowl, whatever. But they straight up choked from fucking week 12 all the way to their wild card game. I have never seen anything like it. Like, it's incredible, actually. It's quite the thing. It was quite the thing to see, man. They lost to the Cardinals. They lost to the Giants. They lost to teams that were so fucking bad, dude. Never seen anything like it. Only downside is 0-7. Wolfie, my boy, Terradome made a great video on the importance of Deebo on the field this year. You got to check it out. I was hating on Deebo until I saw it this morning. I'll give it a shot. I'll take a look at it, but I don't think anything's going to change my mind on what Deebo's been doing this year. I don't think I'll take it. I'll check it out, but I'm going to be a little bit stubborn here. just because from what I've seen, even if he's been in a distraction, when he's touched the ball, I don't want to get, I'm going to too much of the Deebo thing, but I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Trust, I'll check it out. Tarradome. I don't know what that is, but I'll check it out. 2019 Super Bowl was also the worst L because the Chiefs' defense 20 was at it was average. I remember watching that season, and their defense was giving like 30 every game. I know it was brutal, but honestly, it was Jimmy G who choked. I think it was Jimmy G who choked. Some people want to blame Kyle. That's fair. That's fair. If you want to blame Kyle for that, whatever. That's fine. That's fair, right? He relied on his run game more. What he did in the NFC Championship against that average defense, like you said, I agree with that. But I think like the way the game was game planning, the way it was going great. It was going fine until the fourth quarter hit, and Jimmy G just became Jimmy G. So, Eagles suck. Imagine George Kittle and Travis Kelce in the WWE. I imagine George Kittle. I don't think Kelce really kind of looks like a WWE guy. Oh, we get the ball first, up 7-0. Then the Rams can't front run and get the running game involved. Then they'll have a time to throw and play from behind. We can then beat them in a close one. Yeah, like that is our Achilles heel on defense is the run defense. So, yeah, you don't want them getting ahead. I agree with that. It would actually be even greater to see Tyler Swift and Claire Kittle going off on each other in the ring. Damn, yo. Jimmy G, Shanahan, Salah all choked. It was. I think that. I agree with that, Spidey. It was a group effort. It's a group effort. A lot of people want to blame 28-3 on Kyle. I don't because you can't have it both ways, man. You know, like Dan Quinn, you have to give him more of the credit there because he is the head coach. He's responsible for everything. But like, if you score 28 points on offense, like for the love of God, especially in the third quarter, what is your defense doing at that point? Like, I feel like not enough people give that defense enough shit. Because I just think that you allowed them to score 25 points in essentially a quarter. I just feel like that is way more of a problem than the Falcons throwing the ball a lot. Yeah, they should have done that, right? They should have ran the ball more, et cetera. They should have done that. But for the most part, it was the defense's fault. 25 points in essentially a quarter is wild, dude. That is a lot of points to just give up in a quarter. Like, it's wild. That's so crazy, dude. Brady threw a pick six. That's true. They scored 21 points on offense. And Brady threw a pick six. That's what I'm saying. But like, even if that's the case, though, like they score 28 points. If your team is at 28, even with a pick six, and that team's at 3 points, the defense should still hold their own. Like the defense needs to do something. I blame way more of the defense than the offense on that. And Kyle had nothing to do with the defense. But if you wanted to blame the 2019 on Kyle, fine. If you want to blame the loss that went into overtime against Kyle, fine. But the 28-3 one, I don't think is fair. I just don't think that one is fair for him. All right, guys, that is all that we were going to watch Kyle Shanahan's press conference. Should we watch it still? What time is it? 2:53. We'll save it. I might do a video on it. I probably might react. I might react to it and then just post the video of me reacting to Kyle Shanahan's press conference and Brock Purdy's. I might just post it, or I might save it for Thursday's show. Keep in mind, I'm also, guys, we might have Poggy for Thursday's show because that's when the 49ers play. So we might have a Wolfie and Poggy show on Thursday instead of that Sunday. Keep in mind, the show is still going to try to aim for every Sunday. But since the 49ers play on Thursday, we're thinking about moving it then. It just depends upon his schedule with his job if we're able to do it. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But I will be live for that game on Thursday, so we can just react together, freak out together, celebrate together, whatever it may be, whatever happens. I will be live for the 49ers game. Hope you guys are there. That'd be awesome. And again, I'll keep you posted if the Wolfie and Poggy show is moved over to the Thursday. We'll see. Keep you guys in mind. All right. Thank you guys so much for being part of this live. I really appreciate you guys. We went over 24 minutes on this hour show. That is awesome. Again, I swear to you, I come into these lives, I think it was like, this probably only lasts like 30 minutes to 20 minutes, but you guys have great conversations. You guys have great takes. You know, I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. I keep saying this. I'm going to say this every single show just so you guys know. If you guys get tired of it, I don't tell you. You guys make this show what it is. You guys make this channel what it is. And without you, it is nothing. Without you, this show lasts 20 minutes tops. I'm not even kidding. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for just making this exceed my expectations tenfold. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Papa J, for joining, for making this stream awesome. You're the best mod ever. First ever ban for Papa J. Everyone give a clap of hands, man. First ever ban. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Steve-O, it's good to see you, man. As always, thank you so much. Even if you're a troll, it's okay. As long as we're not personal, that's fine. Tyler Helton, coolest Chiefs fan I know. Of course, respect. Spidey's G. Good to see you, man. You're awesome. Val, always great to see you. Appreciate you coming here, always commenting. You've been very consistent. You're an OG as well. Strawberry Reacts, love you, man. Thank you so much for coming in. You always come in with the facts, man. Whenever I get something wrong, you're like, actually, this happened. I'm like, oh, shit, I didn't know that. Appreciate you, as always. King Mufasa, as always, you're awesome. Sam, I know Samuel was in here. Jay Vallejo, I can't say this last name. Jay Vallejo, I can't say it. I'm so butchering it. Thank you so much for joining. 49er Brian, always good to see you too as well. Scott Lacoste always comes in. It always comes in with a clutch. At least one comment, man. Always good to see him. Niners for life. Good to see you too. Who else do we got? There's someone else I'm missing. I could have sworn. Not giving Matthew a shout out. 49ers Media, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming in. I keep saying this, but we need to do another show together at some point. Thang Gang, good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Even though we disagree on Deebo, I respect your opinion. Always. You're allowed to disagree with me on here, and that is something I want to stand on. You're allowed to disagree with me on this show. Rick Diaz, good to see you. Good to see you too. Always, every now and again, I see you, man. You're awesome. And that's everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who watches this show later. Sub if you haven't subbed already. I go live all the fucking time. I usually watch 49ers games when it's on my TV show, and I'd always love to have you. I make videos, I make shorts, I play games because who doesn't like games, right? So if you guys want to get involved in that, that's awesome as well. And be sure to like the live. It helps me out a lot. It helps this channel grow. It helps when you're a part of it, so it helps us grow. This channel is nothing without you guys. It's nothing without your likes. It's nothing without your subs. It's nothing without your support. So thank you so much. Every single heart, every single like makes my 49ers heart go from here to here. All love, fam. I will see you Thursday. Bang, bang, not again. Bang, bang, not again. Bang, bang.